Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And this is Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 7, Labor of Love.
I'm just glad it wasn't a birthing episode, even though I'm pretty sure, I think we were talking about this, there's like a 95% chance that they already named a birthing episode Labor of Love.
I feel like that is true, but is this, what is that called? When you just believe that something's true, but it's not?
Religion? Are you talking about the...
When everyone collectively thinks that something has happened, but it is not?
The Mandela effect.
There we go. Thank you. We got there eventually, didn't we?
Is that what it is? Well, yeah, that's the irony that I couldn't think of the name.
The end of an era, this episode truly is. We are getting rid of Meri's furniture. It's the end of the sushi restaurant, waiting room furniture, the end of the Titanic couch, which they didn't spend enough time on. Yeah,
it was a big loss, I think, for the show in general and for the fandom, but we'll probably be able to get through this, I think. Well, it's continuing on with the biblical themes that they have for all of the episode titles so far this season, and this one is ripped from Hebrews 6:10 from the word of our Lord, as always, every week. For God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love, which you have shown toward his name, in that you have ministered to the saints and do minister.
I gotta tell you, I understood almost none of that.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, good.
Do you want to translate or?
Translate?
From the Southern accent. I just couldn't really understand what was going on
Did you not understand the words that I was saying, or did you not understand the message that was deep within the spiritual texts?
All of it. Also, at first I thought you were doing the Robin voice, and then I got very confused, and then I remembered the preacher.
For God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love.
Okay, it's considerably worse in the Robin voice. Is this about Kody toiling away in his marriages?
I don't think so.
No?
Well, maybe, I guess. It's the general concept, and I think the idea that's summed up in the verse is that God is not unjust. He sees the work that you're putting in to grow the fam, and he's impressed, and he's not going to let that go to waste. He has noticed. Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
So it is a message for Kody.
Maybe.
Could be.
He is toiling away.
That's in the past, though, because now he's got 3 divorces under his belt.
Is this more a message for Meri, maybe? That she's been putting in the work? It's not for naught.
She's worthying up.
Trying her best. But the TLC description for this one is, Kody helps Meri prepare to move away, and they joke about their divorce. Christine and David look at wedding venues after only 2 months of dating, which leaves her kids thinking things are moving too fast.
I have an edit, which leaves the entire audience thinking things are moving too fast.
Everyone on the planet Earth thinking it's moving too fast. So for all the folks who tried to calm me down and explain it away that maybe Christine and David have this long-lasting relationship, they've probably been dating for longer than we thought. Who knew?
That was a theory at first.
That was an excuse that people were presenting.
Oh, this episode, I just want to bring this up right off the bat. The pictures that Christine posted on Instagram when she announced that she was starting to date again, that was, 10 days before she announced David? She's wearing the outfit that she's wearing at this shopping event, looking for venues.
It's not a shopping. They're not buying a venue. They didn't buy their B&B that they were putting their scrapbook in.
They don't have the budget?
No.
It seems like other Browns do.
Well, yeah, that's some other top news stories for you here in the Sister Wives universe.
The gall, though, of this woman, she was looking for wedding venues, and she snapped a pic and threw that up on Instagram asking for online dating advice. And meanwhile, she's ready to get married.
Did she think it was funny that she's asking for dating advice when she's already found her new man, her new beau?
Just saying, you tried to get that one past us, Christine, but we caught it.
The exact same outfit. It was the day. down to the day.
I think it was at the first venue.
If you thought the Instagram timeline, if you thought the show timeline was fast for Christine and David moving along here, looking at wedding venues when they've only been dating for 2 months, the Instagram timeline was incredibly reduced because it was only a week from the time that she announced that she was dating. And then magically, here's David, the love of my life.
Did she really need to announce that she was dating?
No.
Just tell us that you found somebody.
Yes.
We would have just assumed that you had been dating.
And I would assume that you're just going to jump into a marriage with this person too. Safely assume, because that's exactly what happened.
You ready for a little episode description?
Let's hear it.
Kody and Meri discuss custody of Nathan. Christine starts planning the wedding of David's dreams. Kody rejoins the Brown family rumor mill. The adults wait for their frontal lobes to fully develop.
We're still waiting. A lot of the adults, David now included, he's joining in with the undeveloped frontal lobe crew that we have here.
That's why these people are so fascinating to watch, though.
Just making wildly terrible teenage decisions for every single thing that they encounter in their lives.
No, they haven't fully matured.
Yeah, I think that's the basis of the show. I think that's why it's been on TV for so long.
You are not going to want to skip the announcements this week because there is hot goss all over the place coming from the Brown family. What do you think we should lead with? Because we have a pick. Your pick of the litter, Corey.
So in the order that the news broke, I think it was it Kody responding to Christine's custody case and child support with Truly.
There's not too much to say, is there?
Yeah, there's not very much that's publicly available at this point.
And that's part of a standard legal procedure, is that he now has to respond to the filing, which is done. Cross that off the list. He obtained an attorney.
Subpar at best, 1 star on Yelp, but maybe Christine had a consultation with... I don't see her being spiteful enough to do that. I could see Meri doing that. I could see Janelle doing that. Christine, though? I feel like she would never admit to it.
That is a strategy that a lot of people take, though. You go and you have a consultation with all of the good attorneys. That way it's a conflict of interest and they can't represent you.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of assumptions. I'm getting very Elle Woods right here.
It's a thing. It's happening.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that he's really investing the time, money, and energy in making sure that he's able to obtain or retain some custody of Truly.
Contain.
I gotta say, after this episode, she seems like a handful.
I don't know if Kody would be able to match that energy and provide the direction that's necessary.
And you guys know, we don't hate on Truly, but she was all over the place. She was dysregulating me in this episode, and I'm watching from a screen.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in.
Well, maybe the reason that he doesn't have enough money to get a good attorney is because he's spending it on a house.
Yeah, times are tough over at the She-Ra Chateau, which now we are sunsetting.
The She-Ra Chateau is here.
Chateau.
Kody and Robin purchased a $2.1 million home in Flagstaff, closer to town. I believe it's 7 to 10 minutes from a Marshall's.
I think that's well within Robin's range required.
What stood out to you about this house? Aside from the price, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, pricing first. If the mortgage doesn't make you feel like you're underwater, then the mural that's up in that one room definitely will.
What was that, like an ocean type setting up above?
Or yeah, like
was it wallpaper?
Like a swimming pool, sort of. It's like you're in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, but it's up on the ceiling of the room here.
I don't know how I felt about this place. It's a little dated looking. It is a $2.1 million home. Actually, I guess that's what they paid. Okay, yeah, it's not worth that because we know Zillow estimates are bullshit, but... It's coming in real far under at 1.8.
1.8, so that's a bit of a discrepancy there. They're not paying cash for it.
They did put a hefty down payment down, though. What did they mortgage? It was 1.68?
Something like that, yeah.
So where is all this money coming from, and why is it not going to Janelle? We need our queen paid.
Yeah, because I don't know if Kody's trying to get the RV from Janelle as part of their divorce, because there is RV parking. There's a garage here on this new She-Ra Chateau.
There is. You think he's trying to fight her for the RV?
I think he's trying to get the RV from Janelle.
I mean, to be fair, if he's going to take the property, he might as well use the RV.
I will sell you the RV for a reasonable price if you're willing to buy me out on Coyote Pass.
It doesn't seem like any of that situation is resolved because Christine and Janelle did another interview. I can't keep up with them. There's too many.
There's a lot.
There's a lot going on with that. And in it, she mentioned that she only talks to Kody when they talk about their division of assets.
Which, that's still going on. So they're probably on the Plath family court system of divorce where you just go at your own pace and nothing gets done. Hopefully it'll get sorted out eventually, but we're not holding our breath.
I am so worried for her that she is not going to get what she deserves out of this whole situation because it just seems like Kody keeps kicking the can down the road as far as making things right with her. How are you going to go buy a more expensive house when you have not paid her what she is owed?
And you didn't sell your existing house that you're already, but now you have to sell that. And so you're sitting on 2 houses right now in Flagstaff.
This one has a mortgage of $12,000 a month.
Well, maybe they'll have some renters in the
2,000 square foot guest house.
Yeah, the guest house, mother-in-law
That's bigger than our
suite.
house.
It's bigger than a lot of people's houses. More house than anyone needs.
So I guess Rora and Brianna are going to be stuck here forever. I don't know about Dayton. We haven't had a Dayton sighting in so long that I think that he's moved off the premises. I'm not sure where he's at.
Know. Yeah, maybe he took Janelle's RV and nobody's seen him in a while.
Or maybe that's what they're trying to get him, an upgrade.
That would be nice.
From the one they had outside the Shira Chateau.
Yeah, that would be good. Because I don't think that one needed a double-decker garage bay.
No, the one that they had?
Yeah, the one that they had was like a mobile camper. It wasn't really Janelle RV sort of situation.
Wasn't brand new, you know?
It was
Not
definitely
what they're used to.
Pre-owned, maybe certified, but definitely pre-owned.
In the latest breaking news, Maddie has announced that she is starting a podcast.
Yes, it's going to be The Authentic Society, available on Spotify and YouTube eventually, soon, sometime in the future.
I am a little concerned because she's doing this podcast with her friend Jamie. And if you all recall, when Maddie did that podcast episode and everyone had a hard time finding it, it was with this friend.
So maybe not the best indexing that's going on here. If nobody's able to find these podcasts, it's going to be harder to listen to.
Well, as soon as the first episode is up, we will let you all know. And hopefully there won't be as much interrupting as there was in the last time we heard Jamie host.
And Maddie, if you're looking for guests, we're always available for a guest spot. You just send us an email, survivingpod@gmail.com. You let us know.
I don't think after all the things that we've said about Caleb that we're at the top of her list for a guest.
But I think you might be surprised, Carly. I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
I don't know, it is very hard to come up with podcast content. You never know. You might want to dig to the bottom of the barrel.
Just start at the bottom of the barrel, and then you can only go up from there.
Well, if you want to listen to more bonus content like this from us, you can head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod, where you can listen to this episode and others ad-free and early, as well as get our Let's Talk About It episodes. We just recapped 1,000 Pound Sisters.
I'm trying to remember what happened. Oh, it was the white chocolate shrimp Alfredo incident.
How could you forget?
I blocked it out very quickly.
We had our first episode of Mediocre Down that you can listen to, where we're talking about revisiting Wynn and Kody's relationship and how that potentially contributed to the downfall of Kody's mental state.
Toxic parenting at its finest, going right to the roots.
And also be sure to follow us over on YouTube and TikTok at Surviving Pod in both places. I have to say, I've been trying my hand at the TikTok memes, and y'all think they're pretty funny.
It's good. Yeah, it's going well.
Corey usually gets the credit over on TikTok. But
I've had to direct some
there are
people
multiple
to know.
masterminds here.
Yes. It is a team effort, as always, at Surviving Sister Wives. And also Kristen Krieger in the mix as well. She's been helping us out with TikTok. So it is a team effort.
Shall we get this pony in the moving truck? Is that appropriate?
Well,
okay,
yeah,
you look surprised.
You can't get it in the water because it's a lot of ice on this surface.
Those hooves are just sliding around this episode.
Sliding. It's not safe at all.
No. So Meri is preparing to move to Parowan, which I think was probably a shock to Kody since we know he's been convinced for quite a few years that Charity lives there.
Yeah, I think every time she's brought it up now, he's been dying to say, told you so. I knew it.
Do you think that's why he's offering to help her move? Because he's convinced that like 90% of her shit's already there.
Yeah, she already lives there. full time.
Not going to be a heavy lift
There's
to help her
nothing.
out.
Nothing to move. But it is a good excuse for Kody to bust out his moving denims and the moving gloves.
He does love to do that.
So, I mean, he's not going to say no to that.
He did have the gloves last time he went to visit her. It was in the last episode.
Just in case.
He was ready to move her out that day. I'd love to have you out of the vicinity of Flagstaff.
If you're ready, I'm ready. We can make this happen together.
And she is making it a little easier for him to help her with that eventually because she's getting rid of furniture. Like we said at the top of the episode, this is the furniture that they purchased back in, what was it, like season 4 or 5?
And that was secondhand, wasn't it?
Yeah. Remember that Meri couldn't decide if she wanted this couch or the other, and she eventually went back and got the Titanic couch as well.
You got to get them both. Yeah, if it's between Sushi Couch and Titanic Couch, it's two very different aesthetics.
She's held on to them all of this time.
How have you found rooms and places to put these couches in everywhere that you've lived in between that time? That's amazing. That's a feat.
It doesn't really seem like, too, she's a person who needs multiple sitting areas. Does she have a lot of visitors?
She used to.
I know she used to, but at some point, she's moved so many times since she first purchased these that you would think you would have gotten rid of them at some point already.
I think in the Flagstaff fire move in season 14, I would have been schlepping off some stuff where I'd be like, I don't need this. Get it out of here.
Just need bare bones furniture in this place.
I need essential pieces only. Nothing else. But yeah, it's time to pour one out for the Titanic couch, I guess.
know, we got to sunset it. I'm so sad.
It's a sad day.
And he wore his Heart of the Ocean as well.
Yeah, it was on brand. It was on topic. Never let go, couch. Never let go.
And the new owners of said couches are going to be her sister, Rebecca, and brother-in-law, also known as Kody's best friend, Nathan.
Yeah, I think he got upgraded to best friend at some point.
Post-divorce.
In the series, but post-divorce,
He
definitely.
wants to make sure that Meri knows how important that relationship was to him.
But Nate was Meri's friend before Nate was Kody's friend because Meri introduced them. So this is Meri's support relationship here. She's going to take the claim on that, I think.
At some point, both of them definitely approached him to murder the other.
I think he was taking bids. Yeah. He's like, I have another offer on the table. Okay. It would be foolish for me to not consider it.
Well, he's getting couches out of it in the end. I guess he could have had a bigger payday, but here we are. Double divorced.
Double D'd. Well, Meri had been getting 0D for such a long time, so it's about time she's double D'd.
What do you think her next move is now that she's a divorcee twice over? I feel like the only way you can go up from here is to become a Black Widow.
I was going to say, yeah, she should just go open a B&B somewhere, and she's already like 10 steps ahead. She's already way down that road.
Just move off the grid, open a B&B.
Yeah, she's totally so far down that track already. There's nothing I could suggest that would improve the position that she's in currently.
Well, I love that they're all here, and Kody hasn't arrived yet, so they take the opportunity to just talk about him before he shows up.
Yeah, he seems really deluded lately. Seems like just the conversation that we have between Meri and Rebecca and Nathan, their conversation, and then when they're talking about Kody, it seems like there's just very different experiences, very different perspectives of how things are going and how things have gone in the past.
Nathan looked so shocked at the information that Meri was sharing. I don't know. First of all, I'm not sure how to judge Nathan's reactions.
He's got a 1,000-pound sister, Amy situation.
I don't want to make fun of the way the man looks, but it is interfering with my ability to read what's going on in the room.
Okay.
Do we think that he genuinely didn't know what was happening? Did Kody not call him and tell him about the release and the fact that he got shamed by the church?
Oh, I'm sure Kody wasn't calling people up and notifying them of that change. So yeah, I feel like this is stuff that has to come from Meri because you're not going to hear it from Kody. He's not going to circulate that information willingly. I got confused did they just pick up and move to another couch at one point?
You're testing them out. Which ones do you want to take with you?
Yeah, I think
Taking him for a test run for comfort.
Meri is trying to close on, yeah. What is it going to take to get you guys to pick a set here? I need to know it's going to a good home. Otherwise, I can't let it go.
She's rehoming the couches.
I can't do it.
She's not telling the rosiest story of what things have been like at the end of the relationship with her and Kody. Things went well for her with the release, not so much on Kody's side of it. And then this is the weirder thing. So Kody has just been calling ex-wives and talking to them about things because Janelle has brought this up before too, where he'll call about something, but then he'll just start talking about something else. So he called Meri and started picking a fight with her over when their relationship actually ended or why it ended.
And that just seems odd, like something that you don't really need to do.
Well, I wonder how close it was to the release call.
If it was part of the release, then if he was contesting that, well, then you should have joined those calls, any of the calls where the church was involved, where you could have established your case and presented your side of the argument for how this was going. But he stayed out of that. He didn't respond to anything. And the release happened because he didn't interfere at all.
So it's a little too late now to come back with your side of the argument, right?
Especially when you could clearly point to the catfish incident.
Obviously. Well, and he did.
I mean, I think that's where Meri has to point out, though, it was probably before that. Because that was what pushed Meri into the catfish situation from her experience.
Yes, that's always been her excuse for having gotten catfished, is that Kody kind of abandoned her in their relationship.
He doesn't like that word, abandoned. I did like that we took an entire segment to talk about how much Kody has changed visually, just on facial expression alone.
I almost forgot about this.
The show needed to address it because we've gone through the different stages of hair and loss that is happening in that arena.
And they're not even concerned about that. They're just like, this man's face has gotten scarier within the past few years.
Robin is referring to it as murder face.
She didn't think that one through before she said it.
No.
You're giving us all material, girl.
It's murder tarp face, I think, is what you're going for.
And she mentions his eyebrows.
Is she helping him with his eyebrows?
No, I'm just saying she is aware of the existence of eyebrows. She clocks them on other people and how they're being used, but she has eyebrow blindness, as they would say on TikTok.
Roby brow. She's one to talk.
He uses this face with the children.
And it's scary. I would be scared too.
So his excuse, though, is that he just has asshole face. It's like resting bitch face, but that's Meri's thing, so he had to invent something different.
Resting Kody face. But that doesn't seem like a resting state. It seems like an activated, furrowed brow.
Well, it's also the things coming out of your mouth. You are being an asshole. It's not just the way your face looks.
Doesn't help, though. Definitely doesn't help.
Well, they get that out of the way just in time because he pulls up in the driveway. And nothing is more awkward than having to go meet somebody that you were just talking about.
So Nate's the only one to approach Kody. Everyone else is staying a safe distance. And that's when Meri's hitting us with the yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo. Because Cody's actively ignoring Meri.
Right? She was in distance that you could hear that.
Oh, you could see and hear what's happening.
Their driveway's not that big.
Yeah, he was not. Well, Meri's driveway is not that big.
Right, not compared to his. We weren't at the Shira Chateau.
No. You said there like it was a combined driveway.
Oh, this hasn't been their house for a long time.
This is Meri's driveway. But he's further up in the driveway here. He should be able to hear this. He's actively ignoring Meri.
He also does not give her a hug.
Well, she was also kind of ice skating on the ice.
She had her hands in her pocket of your shitty hoodie.
Vibing and thriving. Was that what it was? I can't even remember.
I think that's what it says. Yeah,
something
that
like
yellow hoodie.
With the smiley
Didn't she
face.
wear that in the talkbacks?
I think so, yeah. It's made an appearance before. But this kind of begins with the what would Sonny and Cher do kind of era for Kody. Because I thought this was just a confession thing that happened last episode. Turns out this is going to be a big part of this season because we're circling back on it, not only for this segment, but also an entire conversation coming up too.
He's really run out of excuses. I think that's what's happened. So now he has to find some deep-rooted issue within his childhood that has caused him to fear divorce.
I think, yeah, either that or he's so afraid to talk about his divorce, so he just needs to talk about a divorce, a neutral divorce that he's not personally involved in, but still has an emotional investment in.
That's fine, but how about something a little more current? Because most of the audience is not following you on this.
Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt? That's even pretty old at this point. Is that what it would be? Who would be a current? Everybody gets divorced now, so what does it matter?
Princess Di and King Charles. That was a big divorce for a lot of people.
Mary's just lucky it didn't end the same way. However bad your divorce is going, it could be worse.
It was really unsettling to watch this part of the episode because of the fact that Kody and Meri were interacting so well together.
They were exchanging their veiled insults, which is their version of joking.
But in a very lighthearted, I'm not necessarily going to hold this against you kind of way.
Okay, I think there was more freedom. Yeah, Meri wasn't walking on eggshells worrying that she was going to upset Kody. She was actively trying to get some jabs in. But then I think what that activated within Cody's brain was a time when he respected Meri because they haven't interacted like this in a very long time. And so now he's kind of starting to like her again.
So he just likes to be negged? Is that's what's happening?
I think it's working. Well, and that's just, yeah, that's part of that avoidant detachment style too.
It's just so strange. You could have seen this coming with him though, right? That they would get divorced and then all of a sudden he would decide that he actually genuinely likes Meri, even though he spent so long talking about what an atrocious person she was to be around and how he had no interest in getting to know who she was.
Who she was, who she is, who she will become. He has no interest.
Now he wants to hang out with her on like a random Thursday night.
I think you're pretty cool, Meri. Can I call you on, I don't know, maybe a weekly basis or something? We could just chit chat. We could just stay in touch. I might be around Utah, even though it's the least friendly state in the union for polygamists, but I'm not a polygamist anymore.
That's true.
Well,
he's found a way around that.
He's still clinging to Janelle somehow.
He mentions in this conversation, though, because they all take a moment to sit down. They needed a break after doing very little.
You know, yeah, let's get moving, but then let's immediately take a break. As soon as we moved the Titanic couch onto the trailer, I don't know if something about Cody's Heart of the Ocean necklace started weighing down on him or something.
Get activated?
Yeah, it triggered something there. He gets really thirsty. He's been digging out walkways. I don't know if it's becoming...
Like, he's itching because he got into a fight with Meri the other day and they didn't find the other F.
And he's getting he's flustered is the second F that he's experiencing right now because he doesn't have any other options.
He does talk about Janelle because the only person brave enough to ask is Rebecca. What'd you think about her? I thought it was very funny to see Meri's mannerisms in another person.
Oh, it was identical. Yeah, the laughter to break up a difficult sentence, the laughter at the end of this and kind of trailing off in that laughter, not finishing out the idea because I don't want to be too direct because people have given me feedback that I'm way too direct.
Similar facial expressions too.
Oh, there were a few times, yeah, because then Kody was trying to take shots at Meri as well by saying that he had moved a piece of furniture. It made Rebecca happy as long as Rebecca's happy.
One woman in his life.
One woman in his life is happy. But then Meri jumped on that one too. I don't think Kody heard it though. She said, oh, he was talking about Robin. Whoops. Yeah, he left the door open on that.
This is fun though, watching them trade barbs.
It's better than the one, man, remember the drive to Flagstaff when they were going to go look at property?
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Ugh.
But again, it's because they got their feelings hurt because they were still trying to be in a relationship, or Meri was still trying to be in a relationship.
Meri was, yeah. Kody was trying to get Meri to get the message. Well, no, actually, he was still stringing her along at that point. That was season 13.
Well, yeah, he had to renew stringing her along to get her to agree to move.
He was promising her how great this was going to be. It was like a new lease on their relationship, moving to Flagstaff, and how wonderful that would be. So, yeah, it was a little bit different in that context. Again, I think it's because Meri took the gloves off now. And so now she has nothing to lose because there's nothing left of this relationship. And that's what's making Kody kind of fond of Meri again.
Fond of the person she is today but not of the person she was for 32 years.
Right, because we have an attempt at rewriting history here by Kody, expressing how he never loved any of the original 3 wives that he had prior to Robin, giving it the finer thought and appropriate attention that he has now as a divorced man 3 times over. Never loved any of them.
No one is buying that story.
No.
No, I mean, we haven't been. It felt cathartic to see Meri say, I'm tired of hearing him say that at this point, because it's just simply not true.
And Rebecca's just confused by it because she's trying to get Kody to sort of take accountability. She was asking him about his relationship with Janelle. Oh, no, she has no interest in having a relationship with me. Okay, but why? Why? I understand that
There's no introspection on his part.
You are putting this as a decision Janelle has chosen. She has decided to get divorced.
To dump your ass.
So if it's her decision, how did she reach that conclusion? A decision
he has
that
no
she
idea.
Made. Yeah, a decision that Janelle made. It's not you're not an impartial party in this. You're involved in that.
He simultaneously never loved Janelle, but is then really upset that Janelle doesn't want to have a relationship with him anymore.
Yeah, because the act is easy. He's great at pretending. Great at pretending to love his wife.
I'm not sure he's in the room with us because it was so weird watching her talk about the release too and try to explain how she thinks Kody felt through that whole situation. And he just shakes his head. At one point, it looked like he was holding Rebecca's hand, but he was just clutching the gloves.
Yeah, that freaked me out because Kody does strike me as the type of person who would absolutely grab someone's hand next to him when he's talking about heartfelt things like Sonny and Cher's divorce that really had an impact on him without taking their feelings into consideration. He would just grab somebody's hand because it's right there.
Just invading their personal space?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's very apparent in the She-Ra Chateau. We see that behavior from others.
Yeah, so this just turns into, it's another Sonny and Cher.
Well, it's all about Kody.
Trauma
We've got to talk about Cody's trauma. And everyone just stares off into the distance because, 1, they're bored. 2, they're uncomfortable because somehow this conversation has turned into a reflection on Cody's life.
Nate got real confused. He was not ready to be talking about Sonny and Cher today. Was not expecting that to come up. That was not on his bingo card, as it was not for most of us in 2024.
No, he's also talking about like his life, and you write your own story. You're the author of your own story.
Right, Meri? Because he saw those posts.
The book posts?
The book posts that Meri was teasing out. What was that, January of 2023?
I don't know. She's posted multiple things that made it seem like she was writing a tell-all book.
It was around the holidays where she'd been doing some journaling, and she's the author of her own story. So that was Kody making the attempt to feel it out to see if she was maybe writing a book, or...
Do you think he reads her Instagram updates?
I think he stays in touch on
He
Instagram
must.
updates. Yeah, absolutely. And that was his nod of like letting her know, yeah, I see you. I see that. This felt like Kody was trying to pick up the pieces of earlier seasons of Kody. This was like cameo Kody on the couch.
He was very excited to have an audience that he could entertain. You could tell that the whole pitch of his voice goes up. He gets a little manic in the speed of his speech. Do you want to demonstrate the difference for us?
Even though it was sad stuff, though, because it was mostly about Sonny and Cher's divorce and how that deeply impacted him. Well, Meri, I saw your Instagram post. The author of your own story? A New York Times #1 bestseller, perhaps?
I think you would have had a totally different affect if it was just him and Meri talking.
I think it would have been more like their conversation we saw last week.
Yeah, exactly. He's really putting the show on here.
Because I think, last week he was still just going for reactions and whatever he could get out of Meri. But I think he was realizing he was kind of at the end of that road with her. And so now this is just something completely different, something new, something he still doesn't know how to navigate. He doesn't know how to be a divorced man. For being divorced 3 times, he still doesn't know how to interact with that. He doesn't know what the boundaries are. Well, how would he ever understand what a boundary is? Generally being Kody Brown.
I like that Meri's finally getting her new beginning, though. I'm happy for her in that.
This is good for Meri. Kody is just confused. Why is Meri so fun and light? Why is it great to be around her? It's been so easy to interact with her the past few weeks. What a shame. We couldn't have done this sooner.
She only begged you for that for the past decade and a half.
Yeah, we should have. We should have either gotten divorced sooner or just, taken the pressure off here and just interacted again.
That was pretty much all we see of them, except for at the end, there was some weird, extra footage that was cut into the stuff going on with Christine and David. It was just them finishing packing up the trailer with all of the furniture. And then I guess Kody struggling to stand up with his 6-pack abs. He's being sucked into the Titanic couch.
Yeah, the couch doesn't let go. So that's the problem. Nate couldn't get up from it. I think Kody was giving Nate a hard time about getting up from the couch, how he had to roll off of it. And so they were asking Kody, please demonstrate. How do you not roll off of this couch in order to get up? And he couldn't do it.
This is only the second time he's ever sat on that thing. Once in the store and now on its way to its new destination.
That's it.
All right, let's get to Christine and David. There's nothing more exciting than watching someone plan a wedding that you already saw air on TV.
Wow, I don't care. Man, when I say I don't care, holy cow.
I'm just on pins and needles about which venue they're going to choose. I just really have no idea which one they're going to end up at.
Yeah, because they're somewhere in Moab.
The prehistoric location, Moab, Utah.
Red Rocks, bitches. It is the end of January 2023. They've been dating for less than 2 months. They're not engaged. They haven't looked at rings, but they are looking at wedding venues today.
This is like the episode of Friends where Monica puts her name down to get a date at, a museum to get married at?
Yeah, I think it was, whatever venue it was.
Just because it takes so long to get a date that opens up. I think that's what Christine was worried about. We can't wait a year and a half. That's just unreasonable.
They have dates available at the end of 2023 at this point. Their earliest date that they listed was available was October.
So 10 months from now.
Which they took. So it seems like something that you would be able to plan for in a reasonable amount of time. It's not something that's
There's not a rush on Moab weddings.
A 5-year waiting list in Moab. I think you'd be able to pull something off.
I'm really surprised. David described why he loves this place and just thinking about the dinosaurs roaming around. And I'm really devastated that didn't make its way into the wedding. There was no theme.
Dino nuggies, something needed to be there. Some chickens walking around, quack, 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 quack.
Are chickens prehistoric animals?
Chickens are descendants of dinosaurs, so they're dinosaurs.
I don't know any animal facts, so this is not the time for me.
I thought we were going to have a special interest moment from, I almost called him Ken. Nope.
David.
From Dave.
You're just going to call him Dave?
Big Dave.
Dinosaur Dave.
Dino Dave.
Dino Dave.
Oh, man.
That's his new name.
That's good.
That's sticking.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Everyone feels like they're moving too fast, and the kids really haven't had time to warm up to the affection situation. They are not comfortable with the amount of PDA that's going on.
Truly, first and foremost.
This child is desperately trying to hurl her body between the two of them just to break them apart at any opportunity.
I didn't like this for a couple reasons, I think. That feels intrusive for me. Truly knows about body autonomy. We know she knows.
She does. She is a body autonomy queen.
So to run through, I almost said your parents' hands.
They are now.
Dino Dave's not there yet at this point, but we know where it's going. So, but to run through your parents' hands to separate them physically as they're walking around a venue, I needed her to jump in the middle of them and separate them when they start making out at different intervals walking around the grounds of these places. Not when they're holding hands. That's fine. Let that slide. Pick your moments better, truly. I need you to police this from a different mindset. Holding hands, that's fine. We let that slide. The making out and the kissing where now everyone is just standing around talking about how awkward it is that we are party to this that's
that was
happening
the moment to intervene.
That is where you need to get in there and say, all right, look, come on, let's break it up.
At one point, you almost didn't hear it because they were walking through the door of the first place. When Truly does that, Christine turns around and says to her, we're going to be together.
It was a joking way, but it also...
But it's not funny.
But it's not funny to joke about. It's not a joke, And then second is that I feel like there was a real conversation where Christine said that. And so then now to bring it up in a joking manner feels like it undermines what the conversation was previously.
I know that people don't like to hear this, but I hate the fact that it seems like Truly is struggling a bit with accepting the situation, and they're just continuing to steamroll ahead.
Truly's not the only one. Isabel is speaking up too. She's being supportive. This is great. I'm happy for them. They seem to be very smitten with each other, obviously, but it's a little much. It's moving
a little fast.
It's moving fast.
And the Brown family rumor mill,
Rumors.
is moving just as fast
Oh.
because even though Christine and Kody have no contact anymore, he has heard about David.
I'll give you 3 guesses where that rumor came from.
McKelty.
Don't say it 3 times.
We're going to summon her.
Oh, no.
Now I'm nervous.
Tony McKelty.
Okay, let's add Tony
Let's
in there.
do that, yeah.
I feel like he could have been in on the gossip too.
Yeah, I feel like he would bring it up, and then McKelty would have to confirm it, because then Kody would turn and look to her as like, oh my God, is this true?
Tony does like to stir the pot.
Yeah, Tony just says stuff. He doesn't even realize how inflammatory
I think
it is.
he realizes.
Maybe sometimes.
He's trying to get a little bit of a reaction.
Maybe sometimes.
It is so great, though, that Christine has found her soulmate. Cody's really happy for her. Only because he wants her to be equally as happy for him in the fact that he has his soulmate in Robin.
That's what it felt like. This felt like one of those things where, not where Cody's trying to win the audience back or gain favor with us for being so understanding in this situation. This felt like one of those times when Kody is granting permission to someone else for something that he himself has been doing.
That's the only time that he's accepting of someone else's situation.
Is when he is
sees
doing
himself
that.
in it.
Yeah, he's doing that too. He's been doing that. He has a soulmate. So that's the problem. It's religion is the problem, that we're eternally bound and married forever to these people that we don't even like. That's not fair.
That we
That's not
didn't
fair.
even know.
Yeah, that's not fair to anybody in that situation. That's not fair, especially to me. Then,
especially to me, who then can't leave them.
I have no choice in leaving them. They can leave me, and that's fair because it is up to them, and otherwise we would all be miserable.
At least, though, I will say Kody seems to have learned the lesson that marrying someone when you haven't known them for very long doesn't usually end up in a great place 20, 30 years down the line. Christine didn't really learn that lesson.
Yeah, because she's just jumping right back into this, even though she's telling us about all the polygamy wedding woes that she's had, how marriage was never a big deal when you're joining in on a family. And so she wanted to have her own big wedding day, and that was what the whole point of this was. I like that she didn't mention about Robin's wedding, because that was a little different. At first, she didn't.
She was talking about the church discouraging them unless you were the first wife. If you were the second, the third wife.
Then she stopped with the examples, because we can't say the fourth wife, because the fourth wife one was different.
She didn't go with the fourth wife.
Nope.
You know, you don't get to have a big wedding. That's just not the way things were done.
That's just the way it is.
And this is her opportunity to finally have her big wedding.
But Robin clears it all up for us. The only reason why she had a big wedding as a fourth wife was because Kody wanted that, not Robin.
She's only tried to do what will make Kody happy her whole life.
Always. Forever. Yeah. Forever.
Do you want to talk about this first place? Because we know this is not the place that they end up getting married.
This ain't it. It's too small. 200 guests. Those are rookie numbers. You got to bump those way up.
It's way too small. Also, Christine seems really confused by the idea of it being a blank canvas.
Do I decorate this space, the whole space?
She assumed that the idea is to not decorate.
It's kind of bland as is.
It's neutral.
Very neutral.
You make it what you want to make it.
I don't know what I want to make it. I want to make it fast. Can we make it immediate? How do I do that?
Well, that's the problem. She's got to now figure out how she's going to decorate this place. She's got to bring too many things in. She's got to hire more vendors. That's going to take time. They don't have precious time.
You need to ask Aspen what she did, because her wedding...
Just let her plan the whole thing.
Please do. Hers was the one that was top to bottom, executed flawlessly.
Coordinated well. Except for allowing Kody to wear a kilt. That was an oversight. Or was that just for entertainment?
That might have just been for ratings.
Otherwise, this whole thing would have been very boring to watch.
Also, you need to give Kody a project that he can fixate on, so then that way he stays out of everything else. So,
well, we know he's not coming to this wedding.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that was for Aspen specifically. Just presenting Kody with a kilt was enough to occupy his thoughts and things to focus on for about 6 months.
They should have asked him to play the bagpipes. A missed opportunity. There are more Brown family weddings to be held, so maybe someone else will be able to fulfill the bagpipe prophecy?
Prophecy? Is that what it is at this point?
I'm going to make it a prophecy that at some point in his life, Kody plays the bagpipes at a wedding.
Here's what it is, okay? It's Aurora's wedding. He's going to play bagpipes there.
There you go.
Because that's going to take it up a notch. And then that's also going to be kind of like an appropriation
of Aspen's wedding.
Aspen's wedding. And this is Robin's eldest daughter, who is taking something from Christine's eldest daughter's wedding.
Perfect.
Yeah, that feels right. Let's lock it in. Let's lock it in. Send it in.
Sending it out into the universe.
Send it.
They moved to their second location. And at this point, David's really starting to question, do we even want to do this whole thing? Because I really would just love to go to Vegas. It would be so much cheaper.
Julia Gulia? It's Glenn.
Truly Wooly.
Truly Wooly. Julia Gulia. Oh, man.
Please do not let that little girl change her name.
Dino Dave, you got to put a stop to this. He can't keep getting away with this.
I would have loved to have seen their Vegas wedding. Just go to a little chapel.
You can have Elvis do the nuptials for you. You could have Sonny and Cher do the nuptials for you. Maybe.
That would have really gotten to Kody.
Cody's nightmare right there.
The place that they do go to, still in Moab, is somewhere that David has been for another wedding before, and he looked around and thought, this would be a place that I would want to get married at some point.
Maybe he was here in a past life, in a previous dinosaur phase that he had.
What dinosaur do you think he was?
He's like the dad in Step Brothers who wanted to be a velociraptor when he grew up. You're a human being. That doesn't even make sense.
Just let Dino Dave live his dream.
Dino Dave. I forgot how to do it. I can't do it. I lost it.
I was having a hard time watching the rest of this because of the fact that Truly was just running around. At one point, she almost fell down and tumbled down the hill. She's still trying to break Christine and David up when they're holding hands.
But
she's
again,
spinning a lot.
Not when they're smooching. So that's what I'm saying. You got to get in there when
Maybe she didn't want to get that close.
I know it's dangerous, but that's when you need to break this up, because you're getting to a point where you're going to have to tell them, hey, get a room. And then they start going and looking at the rooms.
There's a room here for them.
There are rooms. So we have to be careful.
I have a feeling Dino Dave stays the night quite a bit.
At Christine's house?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's where we end up at the deluxe king cabin.
The kink cabin?
The kink cabin. It will be for the wedding night. So cozy. For now, David's over there checking the bed. Not to see if it's comfy. He's checking it for structural integrity.
The durability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make sure.
Well, they can't choose this place if the bed isn't strong enough.
No, if it can't handle what's going to happen here, then we're going to need to find something else.
Between that and the hot tub, they are sold on this place. It's the freaky cabin of their dreams.
This is the dream wedding that Christine has always wished for, hoped for, longed for. Not the dismal affair of marrying Kody. What a sad, sad day that was.
Kody is still talking about that as though he married her out of an obligation. To who? To whom?
To whom? I don't know. Maybe Kody was doing Christine's family a favor. In his eyes, Christine was the old maid at 19.
I don't know. Do you really think that that's true? 19? She's aging out of the system here?
Yeah, I think so. Caleb's system, she's out. Oh!
Not getting us that podcast guest spot, are you?
All right. Sorry. Sorry, Maddie.
Well, speaking of, Maddie's wedding is the origin of Christine's dream to walk down the aisle.
Who knew? The bohemian, ethereal, lace everywhere wedding.
She was really sure to remember the lace.
It stood out in Christine's memory.
Maddie's wedding had that theme. Then McKelty's wedding was a big party.
Amazing, big, huge party.
You couldn't say anything else about it.
There were Frisbees.
It was unique.
It was cold.
It was very, very cold.
You couldn't say it was cold.
Her December wedding. A December bride.
It was, it was cold and hungry. It was kind of like a Great Depression sort of theme, unspoken.
And then Aspen's wedding, it was magical and romantic.
Bagpiperific.
If you had to describe Christine's wedding with 3 words, what would they be?
You know, freaky is going to be in there.
Intimate.
Ooh.
Sensual.
Luxurious.
Luxurious. I don't think luxurious.
No.
Mature.
Nope.
Immature.
Immature. Probably. Fast. Freaky. It's Jimmy John's.
The triple F.
Fresh, freaky, fast.
We're upgrading from F and F to FF and F. Fast, freaky, fresh. Is there anything else to say about this other than they gave Robin her flowers for having included everyone in her wedding? And she was like very defensive about that whole thing.
He got fired up.
The fact that they even asked her about her wedding. Because it wasn't about her, it was about the family.
Yeah, because Kody learned his lesson with Janelle and Christine's horrible weddings. Don't ever do that again. When we go for the 4th, we got to make it great. We got to make her happy. Why did it sound like Christine was banking on a vow renewal ceremony with Kody for a long time? She was already rethinking this magical wedding experience, and then she didn't realize that she was going to be able to actually remarry somebody who's better than Kody. And I think that's actually the unspoken part of that fantasy that she was having during those moments where she kept designing this dream wedding experience of hers. But I think the
groom was a big question mark.
I think the groom is what you needed to change. That was the key ingredient here that needed to be adjusted.
Well, she's got a groom. She's got a venue. She's got a honeymoon suite. So she's ready to send out invites to everyone except for Meri, Kody, and Robin.
Yeah, she's confirming guest lists already, too. We don't have a ring. We don't have an engagement. But Kody and Robin definitely know. And Meri, probably not. I don't know why Meri's still on the outs then in this situation. Does she still not know that Meri left Kody?
I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, I don't think she's told anybody. Well, it was public on Instagram at that point.
It was. Yeah, January. So right a couple weeks before they went venue shopping, she would have known.
Not shopping. They're not buying.
Browsing.
Browsing. Okay.
Well, they did find out that this place is available October 8th. And I don't know. Do you think they'll choose this one?
Yes, I do. I'm surprised they didn't get put on a standby list where they were just throwing it out there as, hey, if you have any cancellations, anything sooner than October,
we'll move it up.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll be here. You just let me know when and where.
Everyone just needs to mentally prepare because we're going to continue to endure Christine and David planning their wedding for multiple weeks.
Yeah, it's in all of the episode descriptions moving forward.
We're going to watch them plan everything. The dress, the cake. What else? The flowers? Is that what they typically do on these shows?
They're going engagement ring shopping.
Great. We all have that to look forward to. Next episode, Kody suggests reconciling with Janelle, but she flatly refuses when he continues to prioritize Robin. Christine introduces her boyfriend David to more of her children before they head out ring shopping.
Yep, that was the only thing that was missing here.
We have to actually get engaged now.
I wonder if David is concerned about how many dinosaurs are in that diamond.
I do want to see what the choices were because I'm going to say I don't love her engagement ring.
You think he's going to go CZ like Micah? Micah Blath?
No, I don't think Christine will allow that. Only the best for this wedding for the two of them. And I think TLC gave them a stipend.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share it with friends. See you next time.